Here we will create a login form with SQL Server and C#. So first we'll open the Visual Studio and we'll open the folder. Then we'll add a new form. For this we'll right click on this Windows form application and we click on add Windows form. Since we are creating a login form, I will name it as FRM login and we will add controls on it for username and password. Here we have added controls for username and password. With property window, I have set the name for the username as txt username and for password I have set txt password, and I set the password char property to asterisk. Then we will create user data table in SQL Server. For this we will open the SQL Server Management Studio. Then we will click on this database, and for the database testdb we will create a table user data. So we will add a table and I will add fields username of type varchar50 and user password which is also of type varchar50. Then we will save this and I will name it as user data. To check it, we will refresh these tables. Here user data table is added. Now we will add one record to it. For this, first we will use the database testdb. Then we will display data from the user data and we will insert data into it. So insert into user data. We will give the field name as username and user password and values as ABC and ABC. And we execute this. It will display one row affected. We will display data from it. One row is added here. Now we will open the login form, and in coding window, first we will write connection string. Since we are using the SQL Server, we will use system.data.sql client. First we will define connection string as private static string my connection equal to make the connection with SQL Server, we will require server name, initial catalog name, that is database name. So we will give here data source equal to, we will give here server name. For this, open the SQL Server and from connection database engine, copy this server name, copy the server name here, then give initial catalog as database name. The database name is testdb, so we will give here testdb and we will write integrate security to true. Then we will create object for SQL connection. So public SQL connection I will name it as CONN equal to new SQL connection for the connection string my connection. And then we will write a method set connection. So public void set connection, and here we will write if connection.state equal to connection state closed, we will open the connection and we will write a message connection open. And after initialize component, we will call the method set connection. First we will check connection is established or not. For this we have to execute this form. So open the program.cs file and here call the form FRM login. It will give the message connection open, that is the connection is established with SQL Server. We have given the connection string as data source equal to server name, initial catalog equal to the database and integrated security equal to true. Now to check this username and password is available in the SQL Server database table. For click event for this OK button, we will write a code. First we will write a command. So SQL command cmd equal to new SQL command. That is, we have created object for the SQL command as cmd. Then we will write a command. So cmd equal to new SQL command as select star from user data where username equal to, since data type is string, we will use single quote then double quote plus txt username dot text, again plus double quote and single quote, and user password which is a database table field name equal to single quote double quote plus txt password which is the name for the text box password plus double quote single quote then again double quote comma connection and we'll execute this command to data reader. So SQL data reader dr equal to cmd.execute reader. If the data related to this query is available in the database table, we will give the message login successful, else we will give invalid login. For this we will check if the data reader has a rows. So if dr dot has rows equal to true, we will print login successful with message box. So message box dot show login successful. Else we will print invalid login. And now we execute this. I will give the username as ABC and I will give the password and click on OK button. It will give login successful. I will execute again and I will give the username and password. Click on OK. It will give invalid login. To close the form, we will give this dot close method and we execute, and if I click on this exit button, it will close the form.